All right, welcome to our next module, the dream conversation. So in this module, we're going to talk about how to have either email or DM conversations with potential dream clients who've raised their hand. So they've raised their hand to express that they are interested in working with you, or they've responded to something you've written, either an email or something on social media, and they've expressed interest. How do you have a conversation with them, either through email or through DMs, to figure out, one, clarity on their dream come true, two, clarity on their obstacles, three, to make sure that you can actually help them, and to make sure that they'll be a dream client for you. You also want to know if there are any red flags, and if there aren't, you can send them your love letter. So I like to think of the first response as the warm welcome. So once someone raises their hand, which means they've expressed interest, you want to make them feel welcome and safe, and you want to get consent and permission to have a conversation. So the first response can say something like, first name, whatever the first name is. Thank you so much for getting back to me. What I'd love to do is ask you a couple of questions to learn more about you. And now in brackets, I put your current situation. We'll talk about what to actually say when we do our training. Is that okay? So as a first response, getting permission. And when they say yes, you can move on to the next segment that I call the reality check. So the purpose of the reality check is to get an idea of their current situation. You want to start with a super easy to answer question based on whatever your niche or your industry is. For example, what kind of clients do you coach? Or how much weight are you looking to lose? Or what kind of business do you run? Or what kind of medicine do you practice? Or what industry are you in? Something super simple, so that it makes it very easy for them to respond. The whole point of this first question is to get them used to responding and to get them easily responding. So you start a conversation. That's why this is called the dream conversation. It's not in person, it's not on Zoom, it's not on the phone, but you want to make it feel as if there's a back and forth, almost like you are having a text message conversation with a friend. So once you have an understanding of their current reality, you go on to the next segment, which is called the magic questions. And you've probably seen these magic questions already. The purpose of the magic questions is to get clarity on the future they want, the obstacles in their way, and to see if there's alignment, right? So the first one is the dream question. You've probably heard me ask this. The dream question is to understand their dream come true future. So it's always best to include a specific time frame based on the work that you do. The typical timeframes that I like are 30 days, 90 days, or 12 months, specifically 90 days, especially if you're creating an Odyssey type program. And it could say something like 12 months from now or 12 weeks from now, what has to have happened for you to consider the year a dream come true, or the time period a dream come true, etc. When we get together, we'll work on crafting these questions for you. Now, once you have clarity on the future they want, you want to figure out what's going to get in their way. So the kryptonite question is to determine all of their perceived obstacles, challenges, frustrations, and fears. And it could say something like, what are the biggest obstacles and challenges that could prevent that dream from coming true? And then the next question is what I call the solution question. It's to determine the way they're thinking about the solution to their problem and to see if you'd be a good fit. So here's a very generic version of that, but where could you use some help, support, or advice right now? And then the help question is to determine if they'd like to move forward. And this is one of my favorite questions to ask. It is so simple and so effective. And the question is, would you like some help? Now, after that, you can put with a specific transformation. Would you like some help losing weight? Would you like some help building your business? Would you like some help specifically doing the thing that you help people do? And chances are at this point in your dream conversation, they're going to say yes. And once they say yes, you move on to the next segment, which is what I call the love letter prescription. So when you feel that the person is a yes for you and your business or your program or your service, the next step is to invite them to work with you. Now, we've already talked about the love letter, and this is why we're kind of reverse engineering this whole process. The idea is you want to send them a copy of your love letter. And it's what I call the love letter prescription. This is what it could look like. Okay, great. We can definitely help. This link, and it could be a Google Doc or some kind of private link. This link has all the details. Please check it out and tell me what you think. Let me know if everything makes sense or if you need clarification, and then the actual link to your love letter. Now, a couple of important things here. Notice it doesn't say, let me know if you have any questions. I've tested this phraseology, this context, this copy a bunch of different ways. And I find that this works best because if you actually ask someone, let me know if you have any questions, they may feel that they have to have questions for you. They may not have questions. And if they do have questions, they will ask. And by saying, if you need clarification, that's a way more effective way of asking that question without making them think they need to ask a question. So from this email, they're going to get the love letter. And once they do, three things can happen. One, they will respond with, I'm in. Two, they'll respond with questions, which is amazing because that will help you edit your love letter like we talked about in our last session. Or three, they won't respond at all. And if they don't respond, in the future, I'll show you how to follow up with them. But for now, the idea is to think about your dream conversation and to phrase and write what are the questions you ask. And the cool thing about this whole process is that you can literally have all of your dream conversation questions pre-written and then copy and paste every time someone new comes into your world. Now, this is an example of the love letter prescription for my partner, Dr. Stephanie. Thanks for letting us know your preferences. Dr. Stephanie asked me to let you in on a pilot program. This Google Doc has all the details. Please check it out and tell me what you think. Let me know if everything makes sense, right? So same structure, same formula. And in our next session together, we will work on crafting our dream conversation together. So see you all very soon.